Listen, I know that we usually cover stories of ghosts being evil jerks. I know that ghosts are usually portrayed in a negative light, and I mean, they're dead, that's not usually a good thing, right? But with all the bad ghosts, there are obviously some good ones in the mix, ones that don't want other people to end up like them. What is up, you guys? Hope you're having an awesome day. I'm your host, Ayman Hassan, and welcome back to another video. Before we get into today's video, I am super curious to find out if any of you have met a ghost, or have been haunted, or had any experiences with one. Come on, it's almost Halloween. I deserve to hear all your spooky stories. And stick around till the end for your comment shoutouts, but it is time to configure with our friends that walk through walls with the top 10 ghosts that saved a life. Starting us off at number 10 is the Mom. Now back in 2015, police officers in Utah were approaching a damaged submerged car in the Spanish Fork River. As they got closer, they heard a woman yelling, "Help, we're in here." The police then followed the voice, found the scene, and pulled the wreck out of the water. However, upon closer investigation, they noticed that the woman in the car was already dead and had been for at least a few hours. However, the 18-month-old baby that was with her was very much alive. There was no one else around, so they were really confused on who had been screaming for help. One of the officers working the case said this after the fact: "For 2 nights, I've laid awake trying to figure out exactly what it could be. All I know is it was there, we all heard it. The only explanation? That mama was looking out for her baby even in the afterlife." Maternal instincts are one of the strongest things in the world, I hear. They say you haven't experienced unconditional love until you have a child, so I feel like a feeling that strong would definitely transcend life itself. Drama. Coming in at number 9 is Dolly Parton's grandma. Dolly has been pretty vocal about her dead grandmas looking out for her, but on one specific occasion, one of them actually ended up saving her life. Dolly was about to get on a plane to Salt Lake City when all of a sudden her grandma appeared in the corner of the room. She apparently kept saying, "Don't catch the plane, do not catch the plane." So Dolly, being smart and listening to her ancestors, did not catch that plane. Good thing too, because the flight ended up crashing and left no survivors. Like, how crazy is that? I read about this a year ago or something, but even then I was like, oh my god. Oh my god. At number 8 we have The Wife. Now in the early 1900s, a farmer named Charles Henry Durand was on his way home in a horse-drawn buggy. Suddenly the horse gets really spooked and a woman in white appears out of nowhere. It is always a woman in white. What is up with that? He recognized the woman as his wife who had recently passed away, and he was like, "Oh, hello dear, I missed you." No, he probably didn't say that. She told him, "There's danger at home, stay away till morning." Terrified, he spent hours unhitching his horse and began the trek home. By the time he got there, it was already the morning and he was exhausted, but obviously he listened to his wife's judgment. When he got to his house, he noticed that the windows were broken and there were muddy footprints on the ground, so someone was there all night. And then he noticed a string across his bedroom doorway. Mans was booby-trapped in his own home. He set it off using an umbrella, which triggered a gun that would have shot and killed anyone who walked through the door, ergo him. So in conclusion, his wife's ghost prevented him from becoming the intruder's victim, and that, my friend, is what you get when you treat your girl right. Filling our number 7 slot is The Sister. I love my sisters to death. Literally, they're my bestest friends in the world, and I would literally break the afterlife to save their lives. I don't care, I'll do it, I don't give a shit. Now anyway, there was this one woman who was staying with her friend who had a shrine in her house for her sister who had passed away. Her friend assured her that as long as she stayed under that roof, her sister would always protect her, and she was not wrong. The woman's abusive ex-boyfriend managed to find out where she was staying and came over and tried to attack her. He threatened her with a knife, but as soon as he tried, the shrine came to life. It started shaking, the candles blew out, and a crucifix flew across the room at the ex-boyfriend. Not wanting to be the first victim in this horror movie, he booked it, and she never heard from that ex again. And thank God. Now at number 6 is The Second Chance. Everyone deserves a second chance, right? I mean, it really depends on the situation, to be honest. Cheating? Probably not, I'm sorry. So back in 2016, Sonia Burton suffered a heart attack and paramedics were unable to revive her. The trip to the hospital took nearly an hour, which, what the hell? How does it take that long? I thought it was emergency response. That's not really emergency, is it? Either way, she was officially dead for a total of 56 minutes, but suddenly she came back to life, and the paramedics were astounded because nobody they were treating had ever come back to life after that long. Apparently, while she was gone, Sonia's late husband appeared to her and told her it wasn't her time and to go back to their children. I've actually had a lot of stories of people being dead for a while and then coming back because either they've seen God or someone's told them that it's not their time yet. It's like their souls that find their way back to their bodies and then they just revive themselves. That was very taken from Vampire Diaries, I'm not gonna lie. Coming in at number 5 is Miles Davis, the very popular American jazz trumpeter, if you were unaware, because I was unaware. So this woman from Alton, Illinois, Davis's hometown, claims that Davis actually saved her son's life. Her son was chasing a ball into the street when he was almost struck by an oncoming car. A split second before the collision, the woman says she saw a ghostly hand grab her son and pull him to safety. She said that she saw another ghostly hand belonging to the same apparition holding a trumpet, much like Miles Davis would have played. People in that town are very familiar with how Miles Davis looked because of the huge statue of him erected downtown, so the mum had no hesitation in believing that it was Miles Davis who saved her son, the local hero. Not really sure if this actually happened or the mum was just a massive Miles Davis groupie, you know? At number 4 is Vengeance. Now this ghost may not have immediately saved a life, but she may have proactively saved many other lives. In fact, she managed to put her killer in jail even after the deed was done. Back in the late 1800s, the ghost of Elva Zona Histashu came to her mum in a dream. She had died a month earlier of what doctors deemed to be everlasting faint, but her mum had other suspicions. And mums usually know what they're talking about. But can you imagine dying from something called everlasting faint? I know it's not funny, but it seems very dramatic. Like, everlasting faint. Anywho, these suspicions were confirmed when Zona appeared to her in a dream and said that her husband Edward had snapped her neck. Damn it, Edward! Her mum immediately went to the police, who actually took her seriously, possibly because they were concerned that Edward didn't allow the coroner to examine Zona's body. But they exhumed her, of course, and found that her neck was indeed broken and Edward was indeed arrested. And thank God too, because honestly, who would have known what would have happened if he married someone else and then snapped her neck as well? Filling at number 3 slot is The Technician. This one comes from an anonymous Reddit user who has an affinity for fixing broken electronics and appliances, and who also seems to be surrounded by ghosts. Long backstory short, he was always the one who would see shadows across empty hallways in abandoned houses, or hear kids giggle in other rooms where there were clearly no kids. He was that kid. You know, the I see dead people kid? He was that kid. And he also liked taking people's broken toys and electronics and fixing them up. But one day he got his buddies to help him install a broken ceiling fan in his room, but apparently they didn't quite get the wiring right. That night he said that he felt the presence of something standing over him and could almost see its shadow through his eyelids. He then started being shaken by this entity, and then somebody started screaming at him to wake up. He did, obviously, only to find out that not only was nobody in his room, but his room was filled with smoke. He ran out of his room to wake his mum up and turn off the power switch, but before shutting his door behind him, he turned and could have sworn he saw a figure standing in the middle of the smoke. Who'd that be? Why'd you save me? Now at number 2, we have The Baby Who Saved. This one is pretty sad because it does involve the ghost of a baby who had passed away, but I mean, it does end slightly happily ever after, so I feel like, you know, we have to give credit where it's due. One night, a woman went to bed after putting her children down for the night. She felt something was off but dismissed it. Hello, don't do that. Maternal instincts, you know better. Anyway, then at 4 AM, she was violently woken up by her covers being ripped off of her and her bed shaking violently. Some entity or another wanted this woman to wake up badly, and then she had a blood-curdling scream and then shouting. Terrified that something was happening to her kids or there was an intruder in the house, she ran into their room. There, she found her one son sleeping peacefully and her baby silently choking. She managed to clear his airway and then later realized that there was nobody else in the house who would have been screaming like that. She found out later that the previous family had moved out 50 years prior after their baby had passed away, and she believes it was this baby's spirit that saved her little boy. RT if you cry every time. I love that. I just loved it. And finally, at number 1 is the Grey Man. This man is infamous for saving people from hurricanes. He lives on Pawleys Island in South Carolina and has been seen wearing old-fashioned pirate clothes. Locals know that if you ever see him walking on the beach, a hurricane is definitely on its way, but you'll be spared from it because you saw him in the flesh, or lack thereof. Now, one couple in 1989 remembers walking on the beach one night and seeing nobody else but this man. The couple went to wave to him, but as soon as they did, he just magically disappeared. Not long after, Hurricane Hugo hit and their home was the only one in town that was left untouched. Coincidence? I think not. And that is it for today's video, guys. Damn. Damn. I hope a ghost saves me from near death. You know what I mean? I hope, you know, I haven't pissed off the afterlife that much. Now, before we end this video, I'm gonna be shouting out comments from a previous video that I did called Top 10 Mysterious Mass Disappearances. The first comment's from Reaper Sands, who said top 10 mysterious mass disappearances. Me, grabbing my food ready to watch The Beautiful Woman tell me about scary-ish. I love that. That's literally me. Anytime I find like a cool YouTube video and I'm like, put my glasses on, eat my popcorn. Literally me. The next one's from Michelle Marie, who said, Eamon's fits be fire, it's never a miss. Thank you, Michelle. You know, I have been slacking a bit. I have been dressing more comfortably recently, but that's, you know, because I've gained weight and shit. But I'll be back on it, guys. Just wait for me to become a skinny legend, and then I'll be back on the fash. And the last one is from Jay Sayre, who says, Eamon, I just want to know, did you do the voice of Killjoy in Valorant? You sound alike, like distinctively alike. I think she's the German one in the game, right? So I've seen a bunch of people play it, and I've seen like compilations of like the best kills and stuff. I don't know really what Killjoy, what did she say? Alley-oop? I don't sound like her. I can do Raze really well though. Fire in the hole! Sorry, I've just really seen too many videos of this. Anywho, I've been your host, Eamon Hassan, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!